welcome to this 2014 legislative session.
I'm Ed Holen.
And I'm Sue Elliott.
The legislative session indeed has begun for 2014, and it actually, I guess, started about a month ago when Governor Inslee presented his proposed supplemental budget for this year.
Right. For the Developmental Disabilities Administration, there wasn't a lot of money in the budget. There was some to fix in the capital budget to fix up some buildings at Fircrest and I believe Lakeland Village, and then also some money to help with the Center for Medicaid problem that the DD has in relationship to the nursing home facilities. And then after that, there wasn't a lot. There wasn't anything for community services in the DD budget.
We caught up not too long ago with Andi Smith, the governor's policy analyst for DD issues, and let's take a listen to what she had to say.
You know, it was a difficult budget to come up with because his intent for preserving the safety net, enhancing services, simultaneously funding the McCleary decision, doing all of the things that we have to do around lawsuits, past, current, and forthcoming. There was not much wiggle room at all in terms of creating the whole thing. And so what we ended up doing is having a really conservative supplemental budget that the organizing principle was hold the line. Not great news in terms of new investments, but better news than previous years, as you well know, Sue, that we didn't see any of the proposed cuts. So this year it really is about holding the line.
And what did the governor put in his budget for people with developmental disabilities?
I would say that it breaks down into three categories. One is certainly a focus on disability employment. The other is focusing on caring for people in their homes. We know that about 67%, according to the auditor's report, of people living with developmental disabilities are living in their homes or the homes of their loved ones. And instead of getting into a debate about institutions versus community, one of the focuses that he wants to have is how do we serve people in place in their homes? And that means additional access to respite care and additional access to peer support and peer networks. So over the long term, that's what I would say his focus will probably end up being.
And I believe also in the governor's budget there was the item about the community first choice option.
He did, yeah. We added some funding to DSHS in order for us to pursue that. We have a bit more information about it right now because Oregon has pursued it, and so we can use what they are doing as at least a springboard, if not a blueprint. But one of the things that the auditor's report pointed out is that we have the significant number of people who have been found eligible for services but aren't actually on a waiver yet or on the IFS program because of funding constraints. And I can't remember what the additional budget number was in order to serve people on the wait list. I think $133 million in total funds. And so this isn't something that the executive branch can do on our own. We certainly need the legislature to authorize new funding. And absent that, what do we do in the meantime? And so one of the things that we've thought about is the community first choice option. As you know, it would bring in additional 6% match from the federal government, which would be a fair amount of funding. I don't have the number off the top of my head. I can say that people have looked at that option in functional areas of government outside of DD, and the money has probably been spent 2 or 3 times. And so from a state perspective, we have to think about how we design the service plan, what habilitation means, how many people would be potentially qualifying, and then how that matches up with the state's ability to pay. So it's one of the most creative things, for lack of a better term, that we're thinking about right now to solve for some of the wait list problems in the absence of a major appropriation from the legislature.
Well, from what we're hearing, the governor and the legislature are trying to keep expectations low, but that's not our job. We want to make sure you and your friends and your family all contact your members either through email or through telephone or come down here and say what your needs are.
In fact, we still have over 14,000 people who are eligible today for services but receive no paid DD services. And we think that we need to have or at least will advocate for more money in the budget to support some of those 14,000 people.
Right, both for families to have more family support and respite, and then also something that was in the DD audit, the peer support mentoring, which is something we already have in the state, but maybe tweaking that a bit and expanding it.
Right. So again, this is the time to make your requests known. Advocate for additional dollars in the budget for individual and family support services and respite care, and money in the budget to expand and strengthen our peer support networks across the state.
And remember,
Change is made.
Change is made.
Change is made.
Change is made. Change is made by those who show up.